another NBA draft version of the Garden Report and recalibrating expectations for the draft. I threw out 2 names over the last couple of days here, including Kobe Brown, who became my favorite target at 35 after news emerged that the Celtics would target Kristaps Porzingis. They acquired him. Porzingis acknowledging this afternoon him becoming a Celtic, so likely official at this point. Marcus Smart heading out the door to Memphis. Porzingis and alongside Al Horford and Robert Williams at center. So not as much of a need for a center, even a center of the future anymore. Maybe if that's what you land at this spot, that's what you land. But I don't think that's high on the priority anymore, especially moving up from 35 to 25. Trace Jackson Davis, not quite a guy I would select anymore with 3 centers in front of him, though I wouldn't hate it. I'm looking elsewhere at this point, particularly point guard. Celtics could still look to move Malcolm Brogdon in a deal, maybe for a more established frontline point guard. Same goes for Payton Pritchard, who could be consolidated with a Grant Williams sign and trade, as well as factor into that deal for a point guard in place of Smart there, alongside Derek White. Just one option of many for the Celtics to progress forward into tonight. So, first name that came to mind, a name I hoped the Celtics had some outside chance of drafting at 35, though after positive workouts and overall a strong stock entering this draft, particularly among Kevin O'Connor, who loves this name, I'm eyeing Colby Jones out of Xavier with this pick for the Celtics here. A guy who I'm almost certain will be here at 25, someone who can continue to grow despite coming in at 21 years old on the relatively older side for draft prospects and playing 3 years at Xavier. I think there's still some room for improvement for this player who pretty much does everything aside from pull up at the point of attack as a point guard, which on this team, if he can hit catch and shoot jumpers, shouldn't be as big of a problem.
CLNS Media's Celtics coverage is brought to you by FanDuel. New customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win.
Colby Jones has a solid build at 6'5", 199, real point guard size in the NBA. A tough, rugged defender with 6'8" wingspan. Guy who brings in high basketball IQ, rebounding engine. A guy who's going to go chase those boards and play with a high motor. A good handle. Not quite the guy who athletically is going to shake players, but one who can create, use the court, read the court, and become a strong secondary creator, which fits right in with what the Celtics potentially need here if they're going to move off some of these other guards and try to plug and play a guard while also developing him. He's able to find guys off the catch. He's able to get downhill and pass on the move. The problem is that pull-up shot. And that's, I think, more of an issue if he was going to be a primary creator for a team that needed a point guard to start and run their offense, which between Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Al Horford, all the way down the line, the Celtics have plenty of guys who can initiate offense here. The good news for Jones is that he's able to score out of those spots other guys create for him. Shot 62% at the rim, which was 66% in the half court. So he is able to get to the rim out of a variety of spots, particularly using the floater. And Sam Vecini threw out some startling stats on his floater. 2.4 points per shot, the best at high-level basketball in college last year when using his floater. It's a deadly floater, one he can get to comfortably and hit nearly at will. Using the pick and roll, he can get guys on his hip and hit that shot. 55% on 70-plus attempts with his floater this year. That's incredible from a mid-range position. If that can translate at all, that's a real shot for the Celtics in the half court, particularly if he needs to attack closeouts. Good point. He's going to see a ton of drop coverage in the NBA. It's a popular coverage. You can use that to shoot over these guys. Joe Mazzulla, not a huge proponent of the mid-range shot, but if a guy has it like Jaylen Brown's shown, they'll lean into it. He's a capable defender. He's going to stay in plays. Just not a remarkable athletic, explosive player, not a young guy, not someone with a massive upside, but someone who can fit right in. 37% three-point shooter last year, over the last couple years, really, and 43% catch and shoot three-point shooter over the last couple of years here. That's only 3 threes per game, but that might be all he needs to take in a Celtics uniform if he's playing limited minutes. He is a 34% career guy from three, not a marksman by any means. And another staggering stat is that he has next to no pull-up game. The first 2 seasons, he shot 0 for 10 from three on those pull-ups. So doesn't even take them. It doesn't have the highest release point on that shot, and didn't hit his free throws at a high rate, which does concern me. If we're talking about any 2 issues here for Colby, it's going to be that free throw percentage not pointing toward enormous growth at the three-point line, nor is his propensity to take shots right at that college three-point line. He, more than others, is going to have to adjust to stepping back, which is a real step back if a guy wasn't shooting longer threes in college. And just a 67% free throw shooter in his career. He draws them, 3.6 per game, but you don't want to guard missing free throws. You really don't. But overall, that floater makes him competitive. His finishing ability strong. His defense competitive. His playmaking, particularly for a secondary playmaker, is strong. And he does seem like a guy who can fit right into this offense, contribute right away, and hopefully, with some shooting improvements, project to get better as a guard coming up behind whoever the Celtics decide to go with at that guard position here. So Colby Lewis, my guy at 25 for now. I do suspect the Celtics are going to try to consolidate and move up. We'll look at some other options in that case, or another array of guys who could be available at 25. Stay tuned here all afternoon at Celtics All Access. I'm Bobby Manning. We are brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel.com/Boston is going to get you a no sweat first bet up to $1,000 when you visit FanDuel.com/Boston. That is FanDuel.com/Boston. Plenty of baseball going on right now, so go check out their daily odds. NBA draft odds tonight. Do a no sweat bet up to 1,000. Think a guy like Kobe Brown's going to go in the first round. You can get great odds on that over there right now. So that's FanDuel.com/Boston. We're also brought to you by Factor Meals. Right to your door, meals within minutes to get you back outside for the summertime. It's summer officially, and so go get your first box and try out Factor Meals to get you back out there enjoying the sun rather than working hard in the kitchen. That's factormeals.com/garden50 for 50% off your first box when you head over there. And Athletic Greens, that's athleticgreens.com/garden, gets you a year's supply of vitamin D, 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. That's athleticgreens.com/garden. I'm Bobby Manning. This has been an NBA draft edition of the Garden Report.